Gilligan's Island star is almost 103, and he's still around. Ralph Carter, born in 1961, Good Times. Ralph Carter is a famous 1970s star who many Americans love for his part in the family drama show Good Times. He always wanted to be on the big stage, and now he's famous in ways he probably never thought possible. Getting his start on Broadway when he was only 9 years old, he won a few awards during his time there. Later, he started a group called We Are Linden to help young people on the East Side with their problems. The group got together on January 17, 2022 to honor Dr. Martin Luther King. Richard Simmons, born in 1948, Sweatin' to the Oldies. Most people know Richard Simmons for his Sweatin' to the Oldies aerobic workout videos, which help people lose weight. Many weight loss groups have sprung up since he started his center to help people drop weight. What makes him different is his style and attitude. He likes being out of the press these days, but he still cared about his fans during the pandemic in 2020 and uploaded old videos to YouTube so people could stay fit at home. His movies have been watched over 100,000 times, even though he only has a little more than 1,000 followers. Salma Hayek, born in 1966, Frida. There are a lot of fans of Salma Hayek. She began her hugely successful career in the 1990s with telenovelas in Mexico, where she was born. Her roles in movies like Desperado and From Dusk Till Dawn made her famous in the United States. But now she's so well known that she's an important part of the movie business. She took her acting job to the next level by creating and directing her movies. She also kept getting big parts like the ones in House of Gucci, which came out in November 2021. Victoria Principal, born in 1950, Dallas. Victoria Principal is famous for her part in Dallas, a popular soap opera from the 1970s. She started her career in the 1970s when she was young and beautiful, which made her a beautiful sight on TV. Even after she left the show, she won the hearts of many through her charitable work. She became more interested in natural beauty goods after starting her own production business, so she started a skincare line. However, she never really gave up on acting. She was in movies that were made by and not made by her production company. It was in July 2020 that she was on the television show Lead with Love. Goldie Hawn, born in 1945, Cactus Flower. Goldie Hawn doesn't look much like the thin blonde girl she was in the 1960s when she had a great part in the sketch comedy Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. A lot's changed since then, like the fact that her children, including Kate Hudson, are now famous stars. In the years after her work took off in the 1960s, she made a lot of progress and won a lot of awards. She set up a foundation in her honor to help poor kids get an education. It was in 2020 that she was in the second part of the Christmas Chronicles, showing that she's still a great actor after 60 years. Dawn French, born in 1957, the Vicar of Dibley. The British comedy scene will never forget Dawn French as part of the team French and Saunders. For about 20 years, they did great comic sketches. Both of them made a lot of money and became very famous, especially in the United States and England. As an actress, French has gone even further. She's been in movies like Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban and the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Her last role was in Roald and Beatrix, The Tale of the Curious Mouse in 2020. Didi Khan, born in 1951, Greece. She's still as beautiful as she was when she got her big break in the 1970s with her stunning performance in the Grease movie series. After that, she got even bigger roles and, after her son was diagnosed with autism, became the National Celebrity Ambassador for Autism Speaks. The star was born in New York and had an amazing life. She's now in her golden years but still feels like she's young. In 2019, she participated in Dancing on Ice as the oldest person. Her most recent role was in the movie One December Night, which came out in November 2021. Priscilla Presley, born 1945, Naked Gun. People knew Priscilla Presley as the wife of Elvis Presley, the famous king of rock and roll. After he died, she became the head of Elvis Presley Enterprises and turned his home into a tourist draw. She'd already started a business after her breakup with Elvis, but that was the start of her real journey into business. Before she became an activist for animal rights, Priscilla tried her hand at acting. She was in all 3 Naked Gun movies and the TV show Dallas. In 2020, she made a short video called Land of the Free – Animal Trafficking Redefined. Shirley Shepard, born in 1950, The Last Picture Show. We remember Shirley Shepard, the famous actress and former model who started her rise to fame when she was a teenager. She was 18 years old when she won a national beauty contest. After the contest, a director saw her and put her in the movie The Last Picture Show. She went on to win awards in the movie business and has been in many movies since then. She's still making movies after 50 years in the business, and she was in the 2021 TV show Guilty Party. Susan Howard, born 1944, Dallas. Susan Howard, who was in Dallas, has been in a lot of TV shows and movies, most of them from the 1970s and 1980s. Besides acting, she's also a well-known author and sometimes gets involved in politics. During her youth, she worked hard in the entertainment business, and even now that she's older, she's still a famous actress. She's also aged well, and you wouldn't guess her age from the way she looks. She's still a supporter of gun rights in 2022, even though she's no longer in show business. Linda Gray, born in 1940, Dallas. The soap series Dallas was another big break for Linda Gray's career. After that, she was in more famous movies with some of the best stars working today. People who see her would think she's at least 20 years younger than she is because she's kept her fresh looks. Gray's been in the business, even though many stars her age have quit for good. In 2020, after the pandemic, she was also on an episode of Stars in the House. Johnny Mathis, born 1935, Johnny's Greatest Hits. In his time, Johnny Mathis changed the way people thought about emotional music, and as you know, his fame only grew. Some of his songs, like Gina, did pretty well in the Billboard charts and are still hits today. In the late 1950s, his appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show made him even more popular, and his album Johnny's Greatest Hits stayed in the top 200 for a record 9.5 years. He's still on tour today. On January 14, 2022, his The Voice of Romance tour came to Johnny Mercer's theater. Wesley Snipes, born in 1962, Blade. Many people know Wesley Snipes from his roles in movies, but his most famous role was as Blade in the Blade series. His work went through many ups and downs, but in the end, he became an award-winning actor and started his own production business. Snipes has been an actor for almost 40 years, so we don't know if he's still good at martial arts after almost 50 years. However, his playing skills are still great. In 2021, he played General Izzy in the follow-up movie Coming to America. Judy Dench, born in 1934, Shakespeare in Love. Judy Dench is one of the most varied actresses who's ever worked in movies. In Great Britain, she's a famous star. After studying classical acting, one of her most famous early roles was as Queen Victoria in Mrs. Brown. But she's best known for her role as James Bond's boss, M, which she played in several movies in the series until Skyfall. She's still a big star today, even though many people her age would already need care. In July, she was in the movie Off the Rails. Kate Winslet, born 1975, Titanic. Most people know Kate Winslet for her lead part in James Cameron's Titanic, which took her career to unimaginable heights. She's since been in many more movies and won an Oscar for Best Actress for her work in The Reader. She's still one of the most famous and important women in the world and a movie fan favorite. As of recently, she's been cast as the lead in the popular TV show Mayor of Easttown. Shaka Kan, born in 1953, Ain't Nobody. Shaka Kan was a great singer and producer, and her funky style and R&B music made people take notice, whether she was with a band or performing by herself. She's been making music for over 50 years and has lots of fans. She's also written some important songs. Khan must have made enough money by now, she sold over 70 million songs around the world and won 10 Grammys, that she doesn't have to worry about how to pay for her retirement. Aside from the fact that she worked with YouTuber Todrick Hall on his record in 2021, she hasn't even shown any signs that it'll happen soon. Mia Farrow, born 1945, Hayton Place. Mia Farrow grew up in the famous Beverly Hills, which is in the middle of the film business. As a result, she started her job when she was 19. As the oldest daughter of Australian movie director John Farrow, she could live this life. In the 1960s, her career took off and she first became known for her part in the soap opera Peyton Place. She's a great actor who won a Golden Globe Award and became famous when she married Frank Sinatra. She told Woody Allen's story in the 2021 documentary Allen vs. Pharaoh. Alie Sisley, born in 1962, The Breakfast Club. Alie Sisley is best known for her role as an outcast in The Breakfast Club. She started acting on stage when she was a teenager and made her movie debut in Bad Boys. She was busiest in the 1980s, but she hasn't stopped working, even though it's been almost 50 years. Sisley's success is inspiring, but she wasn't always interested in acting. She first wanted to be a dancer, but she changed her mind and is now interested in acting. We're glad she did. She started appearing on Good Morning America in January 2022. Pam Grier, born 1949, Jackie Brown. The term first female action star was given to Pam Grier because of the strong female parts she played in movies like Foxy Brown. Even though she stopped starring for a while in the 1990s, she's built up an enviable reputation in the business. When she returned to acting, she did very well and even won an award for Best Actress for her first part in Jackie Brown. Grier has been in the business for a while and was in the TV show Bless This Mess, which ran for 2 seasons, from 2019 to 2020. Jody Foster, born in 1962, The Silence of the Lambs. Jody Foster, who started playing in movies when she was only 13, is one of the style stars of her age and has won many awards. She quickly moved up in her career from acting to directing. Since then, she's done some iconic work, like directing episodes of popular TV shows like House of Cards and Orange is the New Black. She's become famous enough to be inducted into the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and she still hasn't slowed down. This was her 3rd Golden Globe Award, this time for her role in the movie The Mauritanian. Sophia Loren, born in 1934, Pret-a-Porter. Sophia Loren looks just as fierce and beautiful as she did when she was younger. Between the 1950s and 1960s, she was in several Italian and American movies. She's now almost legendary in the movie business. It's been said that she's the only actor from Hollywood's golden age who is still alive and on the American Film Institute's list as of 2022. She began acting when she was 16 years old, which is pretty amazing, and her list of roles continues up to 2020 when she stars in The Life Ahead. Mary Steenburgen, born in 1953, Melvin and Howard. Mary Steenburgen is a singing, acting, and comedy star who has won many awards for her work throughout her career. With early roles from the 1970s, her performing resume looks like that of an artist getting ready to retire. However, she's stayed very busy up to this point. She's also written music for a lot of movies and won an award for Best Song in a Musical Movie. The world would miss her if she died someday, but for now, we still enjoy seeing her in movies like Nightmare Alley, which came out in 2021. Renee Russo, born in 1954, Nightcrawler. Renee Russo was born in Los Angeles, so she knew what it was like to live in a big city. She then started modeling, which got her on the cover of the famous magazine Vogue. Eventually, she started acting and became famous around the world for movies like Lethal Weapon. Over the years, Russo has taken on even more famous roles, like that of Frigga, Thor's mother. She most recently played that role again in Avengers Endgame. It brought her career back to life and made her important again after breaking from performing. Iman, born in 1955, Versace. Iman is a Somalian model who started her job with the prestigious magazine Vogue when she was 21 years old. When she married the late rock star David Bowie, she became even more famous, but she was already a supermodel because she'd been in some of the world's most important magazines. After more than 40 years, she's had a successful career and is now also an involved businesswoman. In the fall of 2021, she launched her brand of fragrances called Love Memoir. Lena Olen, born in 1955, The Unbearable Lightness of Being. In a career that's lasted more than 40 years, Swedish actress Lena Olen has continued to turn heads with her famous roles. She also still looks young as time goes on. Awards have been given to her, and she's come a long way since her first movies like Face to Face. Olen recently joined the cast of the current show Hunters, which premiered in 2020. During her work, she's had a lot of different parts, some of which were very different from each other. We want to see more of her because she's a great actor. Gina Davis, born in 1956, Thelma and Louise. Gina Davis was a big star in the 1980s, known for memorable roles in movies like Accidental Tourist. Anyone who watched movies in that decade looked forward to seeing her in a movie. She's won both a Golden Globe and an Academy Award, which shows how good an actress she was. She's now in her golden years, but she's still as much of a star as she was when she was younger. The horror movie Ava came out in 2020 and she was in it. Her playing has also been praised for beating gender bias in the acting world and anywhere else. Andie MacDowell, born in 1958, 4 weddings and a funeral. Even though she's now an actress, the beautiful Andie MacDowell still has the traits of a model who doesn't feel bad about it. Well, she never really moved on because she's still a spokeswoman for L'Oreal. People remember her fondly for her part in the comedy 4 Weddings and a Funeral. In October 2021, MacDowell started a role in the TV miniseries Made. This was almost 40 years after her first movie, and seeing her as Paula Langley in the show shows how much she's grown as an actress. Nehemiah Percy, August 2, 1919 to August 5, 2022. Twilight Zone and Yentl. Nehemiah Percy was a famous actor who was born on August 2, 1919 and died April 5 of 2022. He made important contributions to both TV and movies. Percy made a lasting mark on the entertainment business over several decades. He made an unforgettable performance in memorable scenes of the famous TV show The Twilight Zone, showing how versatile he was and how he could hold an audience's attention. In addition to his work on TV, Nehemiah Percy made a big impact with his role in the movie Yentl, which starred and was directed by Barbra Streisand.